Hello and welcome everyone to another FPL video. My name is Mo and this is my channel FPL INKLING, and today I'm going to be bringing you my team selection for Game Week 3 for this season's Fantasy Premier League 2021-2022. So what I'll be revealing to you is my plans, my transfers if I've made any, and what my thought process will be in the short, medium and long term, and the rationale behind A, making the transfers, and B, avoiding any transfers for specific players. But before we begin, if you haven't, hit the like button and subscribe to FPL INKLING to help us grow, and join the FPL INKLING League as well by typing in the code on screen. And let's have a great FPL season this season so far, guys. We've almost hit 700 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button and help me cross the 700 mark and get close to that 1k mark that we're looking to achieve as soon as possible. So what is my team squad, or what's my squad looking for Game Week 3? We'll go through it all so far. So I've made 3 changes and I'll go through them one by one with you guys. So keeping the goalkeeper the same, so we're going to be choosing Sanchez. So Sanchez at the moment chosen by 24% of managers, 8 points so far. Got a clean sheet against Watford, made 1 save as well, where he obviously didn't get a point for that because you have to make at least a minimum of 3 saves to get a point. Next game is Everton at home. Now it's scaled as red and I think it should be quite an interesting game. Everton have started off aggressively with Rafa in their kind of like, managerial position. They've shown kind of, flair, kind of ability to attack. But I think generally Brighton can come away with some points. They've done pretty well to begin their season. They've won both games. They're on 6 points, 100% record so far, which not even some of the so-called big teams have achieved so far. But, that's something to really, celebrate for them. And this guy is generally one of the main reasons for that to be happening. It's going to be difficult to obviously keep out players like Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin, Demarai Gray, who've done so well in the first couple of weeks. But, there is hope. I think there is a potential chance of him keeping another clean sheet and allowing Brighton to come away with maximum points as well. So, obviously, for me, it's kind of like a select and forget. Or pick and forget, whichever you'd like to choose for a goalkeeper. So I've chosen a 4.5 keeper. I don't intend to change him at all, unless I play a wild card and where I intend to in Game Week 7, 8, maybe even Game Week 9. I may consider changing a goalkeeper, but on previous seasons I haven't tended to change my goalkeeper at any point. So that's why I'm going to stick with him for now, and I will be hopeful that he comes away with a clean sheet. So starting with the defence, so my first defender that I've brought in, so Ben White went down with COVID and did not play against Chelsea. It benefited me in that game week itself because I had Bissouma on the bench who scored 8 points, so that helped me massively. Nothing to take away from Arsenal or Ben White himself, but they lost 2-0. I don't think the scoreline would have been any different whether he'd played or not. So he potentially would have got me a point, maybe 2 maximum from that game. What that would have done is basically I've got an extra 6 points just by him not playing and by default Bissouma coming in. But I had to make a change because he's got COVID. There's no certainty he'll be playing or not. So his percentage or probability of being playing was 25%. So what's actually happened is White's injury has kind of had to make me change my plans. And this is why I've chosen a different pathway to where I originally was going to go. So my original plan was, say White was fit, I was going to change Son to Harrison, and Kane was going to be brought in for Danny Ings because the fixture swing, and I've always wanted Kane in my squad. But this has gone on far enough now in terms of Kane moving or not moving, playing or not playing. It's kind of made me rethink my plans. And obviously Ben White's injury caused a concern for illness. How quick is he going to be back? We're not entirely sure. So what I've done is I brought in Reguilon. So I had him last season. So Spurs have started off with 2 clean sheets. Selected by around 5.3% of managers, only 5 mil. He has an attacking presence. I watched him very closely in the first 2 games against Manchester City and Wolves. And for me personally, I think he's a really good player and it's a really good price as well. Looking at the next 2 game weeks as well, Watford at home and Crystal Palace away. I'm potentially aiming for another 2 clean sheets. Potentially some attacking returns in terms of a goal or an assist would be very, very beneficial. But then he's got a couple of difficult games with Chelsea, Arsenal. Then a couple of games which I think should be manageable. Villa and Newcastle, West Ham as well, and then Manchester United again. So they've got some really good runs as well. So I thought Reguilon would be worth bringing him in, kind of free up some funds elsewhere in the pitch, which we'll discuss of which other players I have brought in to my squad. Still in defence is going to be Aaron Creswell. 5.5 mil, has done extremely well. At the time of this recording, Aaron Creswell hasn't played their second game week against Leicester. But for me, regardless, in the first game he's got a goal, shows an attacking presence as well. Yes, they conceded 2 goals, but that's West Ham for you. They will play aggressively, they will be conceding, but you've got a player like Creswell who's on set pieces, who would take like free kicks, corners, and doesn't mind a shot either. They got Crystal Palace in this game week now, followed by Southampton. So I think again another 2 manageable fixtures. So Creswell should be a good ideal fit with some potential clean sheet bonuses, and if he can, get a goal return or an assist in itself. My next defender is Diaz, so he got me a very nice double-digit return last week of 11 points with that assist for the 5th goal for Riyad Mahrez. His ownership has creeped up to around 25.6%. Still the same at 6 mil in terms of price, but what he generally brings, he's got 2 bonus points. So what he brings to Manchester City is solidity. He's one of the 2, I think, definite starters. I mean, I don't even include Kevin De Bruyne anymore. So Edison and Diaz are pretty much nailed on to potentially play around 30 to 32 games of the Premier League campaign for Manchester City, barring any injuries. And moving on to their fixtures as well, I potentially can't see Arsenal scoring. Cast the City defence, they've looked quite lacklustre, but obviously if Aubameyang comes back, Lacazette returns, obviously with Pepe as well, that can add some firepower. However, from the first 2 games, I don't really have much anticipation from Arsenal going forward, but you never know, it's a game of football. And I think, Diaz again has a presence in the box from corners, can go up for them, and also has a vision to pick out a pass for someone like Mahrez, where he was able to take full advantage and score. Followed by Leicester the game after, which isn't going to be an easy game in Leicester away stadium, King Power Stadium, and also you've got Southampton who's going to be home the week after. So Manchester City don't have the most easiest of fixtures, but defensively they're quite sound, and he's pretty much nailed to play most games, so I'm pretty content with choosing Diaz at this moment in time. The next defender is going to be Luke Shaw. So again, over 50% of ownership, so the highest owned defender in the game so far. You got a bonus point, 2 bonus points on the weekend actually against Southampton. Again, yet to keep a clean sheet. It's got 5 points already. In terms of fixtures, Wolves away, Newcastle home. So again, some really good favourable fixtures for him to take advantage of. We haven't really seen his attacking flair so far, but he always likes to get into those dangerous positions, takes corners, free kicks as well. So again, there's a potential threat of an assist or a goal return along with a clean sheet with those next 2 game week fixtures. So that's why I've chosen him for this game week, because I think, away at Wolves, there should be some return for United. Potentially a clean sheet because they haven't looked that potent in front of goal in terms of Traore and other players like Jimenez not being clinical enough in the first 2 games. So it shows a really good chance for Manchester United to come away 3 points, keep a clean sheet, and potentially have a return in terms of setting up a goal or just scoring one in itself. Last but not least is Lukadinia. So this week a lot of people have had a reaction towards him because he got 0 points against Leeds. He got a yellow card and they conceded 2 goals. Now, yes, he's got some really good favourable fixtures. Is there an overreaction? Should we react really quickly? I don't think we need to react so quickly because it doesn't change the fact that Everton still have some very good fixtures in the first 10 games. And for me, they have the best fixture list in terms of difficulty. And they got Brighton, Hove Albion away this week, followed by Burnley, Aston Villa, Norwich. So there are potential returns for clean sheets for Everton. They don't keep very many, but there can be. And he's a goal threat at the end of the day. The guy does take free kicks. He does take corners. He likes to go down the left-hand side. And if you look at the game closely now, they are looking to whip the ball into Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Damari Gray. For example, down the right-hand side, you've got these players who are really making those focal points, and Richarlison down the side as well, who are looking to get into these spaces and kind of set up Richarlison on his way. So for me, there's a chance of him going. I'm going to literally keep him in for another couple of weeks. I will give him a benefit of the doubt. He will come good eventually. So there's not going to be an overreaction for Dini and myself. I will wait and see how he does. So he's gone from around 18% management ownership to about 16.5%. So there's been a bit of a reaction, but again, you can't overlook those fixtures that we have lined up for him. Apologies so far. So at the moment, we got Salah in midfield. So last week he was my captain. So 55.7% of ownership at the moment, 12.6 million in price. So he has gone up in price. He's got Chelsea this week. Again, he's on 20 points already. Kind of blanked against Burnley. Had the offside goal. I kind of celebrated a bit too early. But it was a correct decision at the end of the day. I think Mane could have been less selfish and squared the ball to him. He was on goal, and I think that could have been another return for him. But that's bygones be bygones. He's against Chelsea this week. Again, am I expecting much? Chelsea have been very good at the start of the season, so it's going to be two heavyweights going against each other. But that does not dismiss the fact that this guy is lethal. He's one of the best in terms of FPL perspectives and probably one of the best players in the league itself. It'll be an absolute joy to watch him. And let's see how it goes from there. But the weeks after, he's got Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brentford. So he's got some really good game weeks after that. So I am hopeful that he could get a return against Chelsea, but they do have the best defence since Tuchel has come in the Premier League itself. The next player in midfield is Bruno Fernandez. So blanked again. So all those managers that were celebrating Salah blanking because they had Bruno as captain. Actually, Bruno got 1 point, which they would have doubled to 2, whereas Salah got 3 points, which doubled to 6. So at the end, maybe captain Salah on that basis wasn't too much. There was all this debate last week around who's going to be captain, Bruno or Salah, but actually the real debate should have been, is it Greenwood or Jota, because they were the two who fired. But that's just one game week, guys. We shouldn't get carried away. These guys still mean business. They're one of the finest players to play this game in terms of the Premier League and FPL itself. So what we can look forward to, in terms of the Wolves game, he will be again involved, obviously on set pieces like penalties, free kicks, and does make direct runs towards the goal. We've discussed his fixtures already for Luke Shaw United. Some very good fixtures, and obviously they will take a swing in game week 7. But we'll worry about that when we get there. But for now, for the medium term, he's going to be in my squad. I don't intend to change him at all. So we can call it a long-term plan. He will stay, and he has indeed had a price increase. The highest owned player in terms of the FPL game itself at 58.1%. And I think, if he continues to deliver, that ranking and percentage of ownership will go up for Bruno himself. So my second change this week is Rafinha. So I've brought him in. I swapped him out for Son. So yes, Tottenham are playing Watford this week, and I have swapped him out now. There's two reasons for this. A lot of people will go, well, why? You should have played Son and probably captained him. That is an opportunity as well. But for me, I've seen enough of Rafinha in 2 games now that I think that, for 6.5 mil, I generally have high aspirations for him. And he doesn't have a bad fixture, guys, this week. He's got Burnley away. By no means is that an easy fixture. No disrespects to Burnley whatsoever. However, I still believe that he's shown enough attacking sense. And, he got a goal. He could have scored at Old Trafford as well. And I think, he's a bit underpriced. And, I pre-season talked about this guy a lot. And do you know what? I just couldn't resist. 2 games I've seen him play, and I couldn't resist not having him in my squad. So I've taken that decision. I've brought him in, and I've taken Son out. Son wasn't even on penalties. I know he's very good in front of goal and stuff, but I think this is something that I wanted to do. So I'm going to try it without Son because of Harry Kane at the moment. Whether he's going to go into City or not, I've kind of lost my patience with that. It should have been done and dusted before game week 1. It's dragged on long enough. I can review that again after the transfer window has closed. Whether he goes or not, how he plays, I wasn't too impressed. I know he got like half an hour during the game on the weekend against Wolves, but I didn't really see that much. He's pretty much short of match practice, and I had to kind of change my plan. So Rafinha comes in, and we'll take it through from that. Yes, there is a concern on Wednesday this week. Boris should be announcing, quarantine rules and kind of following plans moving forward, because I know there is a match for Brazil on like the Thursday, and then Leeds will play Liverpool on Sunday. So if they come back private jets and stuff, so they should be all right to get back in time. However, they fly first class, and the country and their club look after them very well. However, it all depends upon what Boris announces. So we'll have to hold on and wait till this Wednesday and then find out whether they can make it back in time. And Rafinha, if he can get back in time, I know Bielsa will start him. He's that key for Leeds, and against Liverpool, definitely they will. So in comes the big show. So I'm calling him the big show in terms of the big show stopper. Romelu Lukaku. By no means was that a reference to his size or anything like that at all, but I just think he's such a show grabber. He was so immensely good against Arsenal. He just bullied them like children. I had no intention of bringing in Lukaku, guys. I was not intended to bring him in, but after seeing him in that Chelsea squad, hearing Tuchel say, we brought him to play, not to sit on the bench. What more can I need to listen from a manager? They paid nearly 100 million for this guy. He's in the best form of his life. The guy can hold up the ball, link up with play, can bury it, can take penalties. He's the full package. This is something I was looking for in terms of Kane, but if I can get someone for a mil cheaper who's going to be playing in week out at the moment, why not go for him? That does not mean I can't go to Kane during the rest of the season and kind of, move on from Lukaku. But for the time being, I've seen so much, and basically based on my decisions, I had to go for him. So I brought him in. He has got Liverpool this week. A lot of managers are kind of thinking, say it's Liverpool, so they'll probably wait and see. But you know what? This is what big players are made of. They will play on the big occasions. He's going to be against Van Dijk, maybe Konate or Matip, Trent, Robertson should be back as well, or maybe Tsimikas if he's playing. Regardless of who's in front of him, he will give it a good show. So why not bring him in? Why not bring him in? And at the moment, because it may be he might have a lower ownership compared to other big premiums, that might work in my favour and help my ranking. So that's why I've gone bold, I've gone early, and I've brought in Romelu Lukaku. So that's why he's in my squad. So that was my third change. So I have taken a -4 hit because I carried a transfer over. So I had 2 free transfers for this week, and that was my third transfer. Now, I've kept Bamford in my squad. A lot of people have decided to go towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin because of the way he's played and stuff. And, he's got an assist, Bamford. Could have had a penalty. Could have scored from that penalty again. It's all ifs and buts. But I think he's getting in good positions. It will happen for him eventually. I'm going to stick by him. I'm going to back him. His ownership has dropped by about 1% or 2%. But that's Bamford for you. He is a team player. He will work it around. And, barring the Liverpool fixture, they've got some really good fixtures coming up. So I'm hopeful of him getting some good returns and being able to, reward me for my faith in him. The bench stays exactly the same. So Foster, Basuma, Gilmore and Bobby Femi. So this is my game week squad. In terms of captaincy, you're probably looking at Salah and going, has he picked Salah as captain? I haven't indeed. So what I need to do is I will be choosing Bruno Fernandez as my captain. I'm going to save that as my team, and literally that is my squad. So Bruno will be my captain, Salah will be my vice captain. I'm not going to move away from my premium captaincy option. So there are 3 premiums in my team: Salah, Fernandez, Lukaku, and I will look to kind of like share my captaincy amongst them. There is something in my head which is going to go left wing, go differential. I did that last year and the year before, and it did not serve me well whatsoever. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play the norm. I'm going to follow what I know is best, and I'm going to go for Fernandez as a captain at Wolverhampton. Yes, he had a quiet game against Southampton. It's not going to happen week in, week out. When he does go big, he certainly does go big indeed. So that's why Fernandez is my captain for this week, and that is my selection for game week 3, guys. What are your thoughts? Are you guys thinking along the same lines? Have you, thought about players that I've brought in, or have I mentioned players that you're looking to get rid of? Let me know. Drop me some comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. If there's any questions I can help you with, drop me a comment and I'll be there to help you guys out. If you like this content, give it a nice little thumbs up. Subscribe to FPL INKLING. Help me cross the 700 subscribers mark and help me get to that 1k subscribers mark that I'm intending to do as soon as possible. Have a great one. Best of luck for game week 3. Until then, stay safe and look out for more content.